Welcome to my channel, where your adventure into the future starts right now. Step into a vibrant universe filled with groundbreaking technology, breathtaking alien landscapes, and exhilarating sci-fi narratives that challenge your imagination. From daring explorations of distant galaxies to haunting journeys through dystopian societies, we uncover the most captivating stories and innovative ideas that will shape the world of tomorrow. Subscribe today and join us on an incredible intergalactic voyage that promises to inspire and thrill. The stars shimmered brightly in the vastness of space, a cold and different witness to the many struggles and battles fought across the universe. From the perspective of countless civilizations that spanned the far reaches of known space, humanity was but a speck and insignificant blip in the grand scale of galactic history. Earth, the cradle of the human race, was a distant world isolated in the spiraling arms of a galaxy teeming with life, complexity, and technological marvels far beyond anything humankind had ever dreamed. To the vast majority of the galaxy's sentient beings, humanity was little more than an afterthought, an insignificant species clinging to life on a small, largely unremarkable planet. Earth was a backwater, one of countless worlds that had barely begun to scratch the surface of spacefaring potential. The other civilizations that flourished across the cosmos had long since moved beyond the limits of their home planets, establishing empires that stretched across entire star systems and beyond. These species had evolved over millennia, each having unlocked secrets of technology and biology that made them formidable, awe-inspiring, and often terrifying. Humanity, in comparison, was still in its infancy, stumbling through its early years of exploration. While humans had developed tools and weapons of their own, they were primitive in comparison to the technological wonders seen across the galaxy. No other species had ever been particularly worried about the future of Earth, for it was assumed that humans would never rise to threaten the established order of the galaxy. Even in the unlikely event that humanity became a spacefaring species, they would still be nothing more than an irritant, a fleeting nuisance, easily crushed by those with more advanced technologies and centuries of combat experience. For millennia, the galaxy had watched humanity's progression with indifference. The various alien empires, each with its own rich history and well-established place in the cosmos, regarded humanity with a sense of bemused disdain. They saw humans as no more than insects, an amusing, curious species, but ultimately inconsequential. They thought that humanity's achievements were the result of blind luck or the occasional spark of brilliance. The idea that humans could one day challenge the power structures of the galaxy was laughable. The Hovakari were one such species, and they were among the most fearsome. Their name alone struck terror in the hearts of those who knew it. A race of warriors, the Hovakari had conquered countless worlds, obliterating entire civilizations with the cold efficiency of their combat prowess. They had mastered every form of warfare imaginable, their ships, weapons, and armor designed for one purpose: destruction. To the Hovakari, war was not a matter of politics or diplomacy. It was a way of life, and they were the ultimate practitioners of it. Their warriors were unmatched in both strength and skill, and their technology was leagues ahead of anything humanity had even begun to fathom. The Hovakari's contempt for humanity was a reflection of their broader worldview. To them, Earth was nothing more than an insignificant planet inhabited by primitive creatures. They had encountered humans a handful of times, mostly on the fringes of their empire, and each encounter had been brief and inconsequential. The Hovakari viewed humanity as weak and unworthy of attention, a species too young and too disorganized to pose any kind of threat. They believed that human technology would be easily crushed in battle, that their ships would be torn apart by superior Hovakari weaponry, and that their soldiers would be no match for the indomitable Hovakari warriors. But the Hovakari were about to learn just how wrong they were. It began with a single ship. A scout vessel, dispatched from one of the galaxy's more powerful empires, had found its way to the outer rim, to a sector of space long ignored by most civilizations. In this remote corner of the galaxy lay Earth, a planet whose inhabitants had not yet made their presence known to the broader universe. The scout ship, tasked with cataloging and surveying uninhabited worlds, encountered the first real signs of human technological capability: satellites, spacecraft, crude radio transmissions. At first, the scout ship's commander dismissed the planet as a curiosity, a place to study for its geological composition or potential natural resources. But as they observed humanity's primitive space stations and early explorations, they saw something unexpected. Humanity, despite its apparent lack of advanced technology, was making progress at an astonishing rate. There was an energy in the humans, a drive that seemed to push them beyond their limitations. The scout ship's crew was intrigued. This planet, once thought insignificant, now had their attention. They had underestimated humanity, and that mistake was about to have far-reaching consequences. The Hovakari, always watching from the shadows, had taken notice as well. They saw the human fleet grow, watched as the humans began to venture farther into space. A few skirmishes occurred, mostly with lesser species, but nothing that indicated humanity had any real strategic value. But it wasn't long before the Hovakari spies discovered that the humans were not as weak as they had assumed. There were whispers of a secret project, a project so bold, so dangerous, that it had the potential to change the balance of power in the galaxy. And so, they decided to act. With their warships in orbit above the human homeworld, they made their presence known to Earth. It was not an invasion, at least not at first. Instead, the Hovakari sent a message, a simple, chilling broadcast that reverberated across Earth's communication networks. It was not a declaration of war, but a warning. We have watched you, humans. You are nothing more than insects, crawling across a dead planet. You cannot understand the forces you are about to unleash. We will give you a chance to submit to us. Your world, your species, your existence will be ours. This is your only warning. The humans, shocked by the message, didn't know how to respond. They had faced conflict before, but never on this scale. Their technological capabilities were nowhere near the level of the Hovakaris. There were debates within governments, confusion, and fear. But there were also voices who refused to back down. These individuals, who had spent years researching the boundaries of human potential, knew something that the rest of the galaxy had failed to recognize. Humanity was not just a species of fighters or explorers. Humanity was a species of creators, of innovators, and most of all, humans were survivors. Instead of submitting, humanity began to prepare. They pulled together every resource, every ounce of ingenuity, and every ounce of willpower they had. In the depths of Earth's military facilities, in hidden laboratories, and on spacecraft buried beneath the surface of their world, they began to build. They designed new weapons, new technologies, and new tactics. They worked together, blending their diverse talents and knowledge, with one goal in mind: survival. But humans didn't just try to match the Hovakari's technology. They didn't just attempt to replicate the weapons they saw in the Hovakari's arsenal. Instead, they did what they had always done best. They adapted. They evolved. The human fleet, once seen as an afterthought by the galaxy, was no longer the weak, disorganized collection of ships that the Hovakari had first encountered. The humans had developed a new kind of technology, one that was not based on brute force, but on adaptability and resourcefulness. They had crafted weapons that could exploit the weaknesses of the Hovakari's advanced armor. They had designed ships that were faster, more nimble, and more unpredictable than anything the Hovakari had ever faced. They had learned to fight not just with strength, but with strategy. The Hovakari's first move was to strike from the darkness. Their fleet arrived above Earth, their warships descending like vengeful gods. They believed the humans would cower, that they would fall to their knees in submission, that the human race would beg for mercy. But instead, Earth responded with defiance. The battle that ensued was unlike anything the Hovakari had ever faced. The humans did not fight like other species they had encountered. They did not fight with the same tactics or weaponry. No, the humans fought with a ferocity, a drive, and an adaptability that surprised the Hovakari at every turn. Every strike, every maneuver, every move made by the human fleet seemed calculated, unpredictable, and dangerous. The Hovakari found themselves on the defensive, unable to predict the humans' next move. But the humans did not stop there. They unleashed something that no one in the galaxy had ever anticipated. They had developed a new form of warfare, one that combined their technological innovations with something far more human. They exploited the very weaknesses of the Hovakari's rigid, hierarchical structure. The Hovakari, for all their might and power, lacked the flexibility that the humans had honed throughout their history. The humans could think outside the box, could act without the constraints of tradition or the weight of their ancient codes. And that, in the end, would prove to be their greatest weapon. The Hovakari, once certain of their victory, began to realize the terrifying truth: humanity was not what they had thought. The humans were not insects. They were something far more dangerous. They were survivors. They were thinkers. They were creators. And they would never surrender. The galaxy had underestimated them, and that mistake was about to cost the Hovakari everything. The battle raged for weeks, and the Hovakari found themselves retreating, their once unstoppable fleet now battered and broken by humanity's ingenuity and spirit. When the last of their ships fled Earth's atmosphere, the galaxy watched in stunned silence. The message was clear: humanity was no longer the insignificant species they had once thought them to be. They had risen, not just as a threat, but as a force that could change the galaxy forever. The Hovakari had come to Earth believing they were gods, and humanity had shown them that even gods could be defeated.